There are many facets to owning your own business. One of those has proven to be a challenge in recent weeks. I thought it would be a great topic to cover, and that is logistics. What exactly is logistics? Logistics is the commercial activity of transporting goods to customers. So, shipping, right? Well, yes, but there's more to it. In addition to shipping out products to customers, it also includes inbound shipping, warehousing, materials handling, order fulfillment, and inventory management, just to name a few. So, no matter what size your business is, you have to deal with logistics at some point. Let's discuss a few experiences I've had dealing with logistics and how we were able to navigate successfully. Inbound shipping. One example of inbound shipping that I use is I order my embroidery thread from an outside company. This embroidery thread company has a notorious drawback to ordering directly from them because when you order from their company, they give you the price of your thread, but they don't give you the final price of shipping the thread to you until it ships out. So you look at the total of your order and it may be $50. But then when the charge hits your credit card later in the day or even the next day, and you have a charge, instead of it's $50, it's now $120. Well, that's because they wait until the order actually gets to the shipping department. So to a lot of people, that's a downside. And one of the ways I've learned to get around that is, fortunately, I live very close to the warehouse. So I'm able to place an order and do a will call or a pickup and just go pick up the order instead of them shipping it to me. Their shipping process is their shipping process. And so it does affect our business if I choose to allow them to ship it to me and I just wait to see what my shipping charges is going to be. And that can throw off my books if I'm not careful. So it's important to understand that there are instances where you may receive packages, and you have to count in the logistics part of that because you have to take into consideration what the shipping charges are going to be when the item gets to you. Another instance of the inbound shipping and how it can affect your business is, say for instance, I wanted to purchase a new multi-needle embroidery machine. Well, those are very big machines. So in order for that machine to be delivered, in a lot of instances, those are delivered via truck. Okay. And if you are operating out of your home, there are some trucking companies that will not deliver to your home because they want to be able to deliver to a dock and roll it off of the truck onto the dock and make it easier for their workers. So they may charge a lift gate service if they do decide to allow it to be delivered to your home. Sometimes they'll just leave it out in your driveway, or some may have a form of a forklift or something like that to help you get it to your door. But in most instances, they just leave it right there off the lift gate, and then you have to figure how to get it into your home if it's out of your home. So that's another problem that you may encounter with logistics that will affect your company. So you really need to keep that in mind if you're working out of your home. And it can be a lot more expensive because they charge extra, again, for that liftgate service. Now, another part of logistics that I personally deal with, because we're doing the buy-ins with the wholesale rhinestones. So when I order my stones from overseas, and this could be applicable to you as well, if you order overseas and get some of your blanks or your products, well, that's a part of logistics as well. You have to rely on them to go through their customs and get everything cleared through their customs, which is another part of logistics. And they clear through their customs, but then it comes here and it has to clear US customs. So you have to be in good communication with your logistics partner over there, the warehouse fulfillment over there, and let them know how they need to address a package to you. so that it can come and navigate through customs easily and make its way to you within a reasonable amount of time. And then once it gets into customs, they have to make sure that the paperwork is filled out properly. But ultimately, once it gets to US Customs, if the documentation is not filled out properly, if the proper tariffs have not been paid, if there's something in that package that shouldn't be in that package, ultimately, that part of the logistics chain still falls on you, my friend. So if things aren't handled properly, even from over there, once it gets here, it's on you, and you need to pay those fees. You need to make sure things are right, and if they're not, then you can be hit with a hefty fine, and or your package could be returned to sender and you won't get your materials that you were waiting on. So just keep that in mind when dealing with logistics from another country. There's a lot of other unforeseen things that we need to look at and be aware of. So make yourself familiar. Try and connect with someone else who has ordered from overseas before. Get their experience. Learn from them what their solutions are, what challenges they've been up to, and that'll help you on that particular part of that logistics chain. Now, going back to that particular example, another section of that is where I've been having a lot of problems lately. And this part of it, it doesn't matter if it's coming from overseas or if it's somewhere domestic, as you'll be able to see here shortly in some of the images that I have, where I have ordered things, some from overseas, some from local. And when I get the package is almost destroyed, almost completely destroyed. And I have gone through a lot of stress and aggravation and phone calls and tears, insurance forms, filing claims, all of that jazz for all of these materials that I've been ordering to fulfill orders for my customers in a timely and appropriate fashion. And yet the shipping companies that we're going through, and unfortunately this isn't limited to just one shipping company, and every single one of them, when a package has been received, has been damaged. I mean, heavily damaged. And you can see in these pictures what some of those damages are. And a lot of times when I mention this, people ask, why you can't just file a claim. It's fair, but it's unfair in that they hold you over the barrel when it comes to trying to file a claim to replace or to cover damages to your products that you received that they negligently handled. And that's a part of the logistics that's a little more frustrating for business owners, because you have no control over how that package is handled from point A to point B. All right. So however it's packaged is entirely up to the company. How it is handled by the different workers in the warehouses. I have an image that I'll show you now where Mr. McQuackins and I went to go drop off some packages at a well-known shipping company. And at the loading dock, there's a chute where the big tractor trailer backs up to that loading dock, and the chute will allow the packages to slide down and into the back of the truck. So it makes it easier for them to load a tractor trailer from the back to the front, of course. But at any rate, the chute was jam-packed with boxes. As you see in that picture, those boxes are all over each other. But the worker in that image, I wanted to get a video of it, but I also didn't want to, cause any problems for this particular worker on his job or whatever. But before the tractor trailer got there, he climbed up into that chute where those packages were to clear up some of that jamming of the packages, but he was literally stepping on the packages as he was climbing up into the chute. And all I could think of is our packages that we ship out are, acrylic boxes, and we package them in bubble wrap. Now, at first we weren't, but we're packaging them in bubble wrap, 2, 3 layers of bubble wrap, making sure that there's not much movement in there to help, lessen some of the chances of damages. But what good is that if your workers are going to be stepping on the boxes, or if the boxes are loaded onto a chute like that, and the heavier boxes are coming down on the not so heavy, the more fragile items. So it's like you're caught between a rock and a hard place, because these are your shipping options, and all of them are doing the same thing. We also went to go drop off some packages to the post office. And usually when I drop off packages at the post office, I go to a major hub. He and I were giving the packages to the workers, and some of the packages we were putting in the bin, but a couple of instances we would hand the package to the guy because he was there getting the packages, and he was literally taking our packages and tossing them over into the bin, where they were dropping like 3 foot into the bin. That's not very far, but when you're an acrylic box filled with rhinestones, how do you expect it to not be damaged when he's just tossing them over? And the other lady worker was standing there, and she was like, "They say fragile. Look at it. It says fragile." And the guy was like, "Whatever," in front of us while we were trying to get the packages into the USPS facility. So it's like when you're shipping out or when you're receiving, either way, you're limited by how the logistics company handles the packages. And so you really need to keep that in mind. Maybe offer an insurance option to your customers where they can cover the insurance on their own packages. Priority mail, if you ship out a package, anything over 16 ounces or a pound is going to be shipped generally priority mail, but now they've introduced cubic mail. So you can send a package cubic, but priority does come with a limited amount of insurance coverage. So just keep all of that in mind. But at the end of the day, the coverage of the items that is shipped, if there is no insurance option, generally that damage is not covered by the shipping company in a lot of instances. Like for instance, another customer, her package was completely lost. They delivered it to the wrong place. They know it. They even sent her a letter acknowledging as such. And here's an excerpt of the letter. But there is an area in that letter that specifically says that by law, the United States Postal Service cannot be held liable for lost, misdirected, or damaged packages if there is no insurance option added to the package. So, it's not their fault. So whose fault does it lie on? And, so that's a hot, heavy topic in a lot of our creators communities, where people are making things and shipping them to customers, and customers are saying they didn't receive it, or the package was stolen, or the package was damaged when it got there. And if a person takes the time to, say, for instance, bling out a whole tumbler, for instance, and hand place all of those rhinestones, and they ship it, and there is no insurance coverage because the customer didn't elect for it, well, then who eats that order? Like, is it the responsibility of the person who created the item and shipped it to you, or is it the responsibility of the customer if there's no insurance on it? So weigh in for me. I would like to know what you think. And before you weigh in the comments, please take a moment to put yourself in both people's shoes. Just imagine if you worked really, really hard on an item, a custom item, and you sent it to a customer, and it's a fairly expensive item, and either the package was stolen, as I've found from another person, a package was stolen, or a package was lost in the mail, or a package was damaged. Or you're the customer receiving the item and your package was stolen, or your package was damaged or misdirected and you paid for it. Who do you think should be responsible for that package? I would love to know what you think. Warehousing is a huge thing, especially for those of us who are work from home and we get a little bit bigger. There are many small business owners out there who opt to get a bigger home, maybe with more space, take over an extra bedroom or the dining room to expand business operations. But at some point, a lot of times, a small business owner will opt to go with a warehouse space. Now, warehouse spaces are available in a wide variety of sizes. You don't have to have a big, huge, jumbo, colossal space in order for it to be considered a warehouse. They do have smaller warehouse facilities available, about 1,200 square feet, sometimes even smaller, that you can utilize to operate your business out of. However, it does cause overhead, because if you do not own the warehouse outright, well, then you have your rent payment or lease payment for being in that space. A lot of times there are utilities involved. Insurance needs to be involved in the event that the rest of the building burns to the ground and you have your products in there. Then you have to travel from home to go to that warehouse. And you also would need to secure it some kind of way to make sure that if there is a break-in or something like that, that it would be taken care of or covered or prevented. So there's a lot of things to keep in mind when you're dealing with warehousing, but warehousing is an option and becoming a more available option as businesses are starting to subdivide their buildings so that more people will have access to running a business out of a physical location that is outside of their home. So warehousing is a part of logistics that you want to keep in mind and plan for, and make sure that all of those extra facets of warehousing, that overhead that you are going to take on, is something that your business can afford based on its day-to-day operations. Don't bite off more than you can chew. If for the time being everything's working great out of your home and you don't absolutely have to expand, well, see if working that way can help. It saves a lot of money in the long run. And it can also prove to be a safety net if something happens and sales drop, or something goes wrong and you need to allocate a large amount of funds in another area. Well, if you're not paying overhead at a warehouse, that would, help make sure that business funds are allocated where they need to be, and not have to worry about missing payments or having late payments at a location. The order fulfillment, the shipping, and the inventory management, I have found one program that has helped me a lot with keeping up with all of that, and that is Shipstation. Shipstation offers you the ability to put labels on your orders, keep up with your orders, and fulfill your orders all in one neat package. And I've thoroughly enjoyed using Shipstation with our monthly buy-in. It's been very helpful. It also helps make sure that duplicate orders are not sent out, and allows me to see when packages are delivered or when packages are delayed. I absolutely love Shipstation. So if you go to Shipstation, you'll see that they do have pricing. So yes, there is a fee that you have to pay to use Shipstation. And I was a little hesitant at first because I've used Pirate Ship for so long to send out my packages. But now that I've used Shipstation for a month or so, it has been a lifesaver. I absolutely love Shipstation. It's worth the payment. It really is. So you can schedule a demo with them, and you can try it even for free. So if you click on try it for free, you get 30 days. The first 30 days are on them. You don't even have to have a credit card. You just fill out the information and it will let you give them a try. So let's show you some things that Shipstation has allowed me to be able to do. So Shipstation has a section where it keeps up with my order numbers. It keeps up with the age of the account. It keeps up with the date that the order was placed, any notes that are on the account, and it keeps up even with the different items that the customer has purchased. It knows that. It also keeps me abreast of each particular customer, and it keeps a record of every customer in my database and what their order totals have been and the overall total. Shipstation also allows me to ship out from here, so I can purchase shipping. I can order shipping from all of the shipping retailers out there. So UPS, USPS, FedEx, DHL is all available right here in Shipstation to use. And so it's easy to do. I can send out first class, or I can send out ground. I can send out express, or I can send out overnight next day. So it's awesome. And then it connects to my thermal label printer, and it prints out my labels right there on the spot, so that all I got to do is tear them off, slap them on the package, and it's good to go. I look forward to hearing your success stories with using Shipstation as well. So if you click the link in the description below, it will be a referral from us, from the Baby's Booty, to Shipstation, so that you can get in your 30-day free trial and try out Shipstation as well and see how well it helps you with your logistics issues. So I appreciate you joining me with this video. Please leave a comment below if you intend to use Shipstation and give it a shot, and let me know how it worked. And until the next time we see you, we hope you have happy business owning. Bye.